Hey everybody, welcome to White Noise Live. I'm Kyle.
I'm Ricky.
He's Kyle.
We are live. For that is the purpose of this show. How's everybody doing? You two are everybody.
I mean, you know, it's okay and stuff. Like, I'm alive, which
That's
doesn't
always a
have to be true.
good thing. So, let's see. This weekend, I am editing all of the behind-the-scenes videos that we're putting out for 10K week.
Woo!
That's going to be my project. And then Monday's video coming out is the Civ 5. So we have a Civ 5 one coming out on Monday. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. That one turned out really good, actually.
Cool.
Neither Ricky or Ian were involved in it, but
So it can't be that good.
it was a pretty fun one. Sasquatch is here. Hi, Sasquatch.
Squatch!
He's at his computer.
He is. He usually is. In fact, when we talk to him, he is never not at his computer. So the name is accurate at all times.
The name is
He could
always...
theoretically be on a phone at some point, but that's basically a computer.
Maybe he has a conditional name. Like, when he goes to work, he's Sasquatch at his job.
In modern working America, that also means Sasquatch at his computer.
Yeah.
It could mean that, but I mean, there are lots of weird jobs. I've had them.
If we ever meet you in real life, we'll just have to refer to you as Sasquatch at wherever we currently are.
Alternatively, we could just always stick at a computer so we don't have to worry about the social stress of keeping up with that.
Speaking of going to places, are there any like upcoming Comic Cons or anything this year? Because I kind of enjoyed going to that one last year.
I have to imagine that somewhere there is a Comic-Con that's happening.
Like when was the Houston one last year? I forgot.
Comicpalooza, I think, is coming up-ish. Let's find out.
I think that's closer to the summer, maybe.
You live in Houston, right?
Ian lives in San Antonio.
Oh, okay. He's wearing a Houston jacket. And a Houston
Oh, well,
shirt.
yeah. I'm a fan of doomed sports teams.
Oh, excellent.
It happens June 17th through 19th.
Okay.
And they have Lou Ferrigno going.
Maybe we can do that again.
Who that is?
He was the Hulk, I think.
Yeah. The
Awesome.
first Hulk back in the day when the Hulk wasn't CGI.
Back when the
He was just
Hulk
him slathered in green.
Although he still is
There's-
the Hulk now, right? Doesn't he do the voice?
Maybe? Eliza Dushku. Oh, that's not interesting. Kate Beckinsale?
Oh, do you have the guest list open?
Yeah, Sherilyn Kenyon. I think she's an author.
We had a Lubbock Comic-Con. We had the Green Power Ranger. I think
Yos!
That is basically all the Power Rangers do at this point, I think.
But
Some of them continue to act and stuff.
I think that was our only guess. Was like the Green Power Ranger. I was like, ooh, I can't wait.
Did you know, apparently, back in the day, when they needed a new season of Power Rangers, where they like changed up the cast and stuff, they just took another Sentai show from Japan and just promoted it as Power Rangers here.
Like it wasn't related to Power Rangers at all, and they just called it
It's just
Power
like a genre there, so they're just like, we'll just take one, it'll work.
Rangers.
I know that one of the actors was not liked by the cast, and so they just wrote him out of the show with literally like, sorry, but there aren't enough power crystals for everyone.
Which is an
And
important
like-
lesson, because as a child, I wanted one.
What was that? Was that the Blue Ranger? Because I remember he was
It
like
was Blue Ranger.
he was ostracized for being gay. I think was the main problem.
Yeah, that was an issue.
But,
Apparently, there's also some bizarre show politicking involved, like in the weird green to white switch.
Why?
Why?
I don't remember, but I believe it was something that was like, that was, okay.
I mean, it was the same actor, right? I thought he just like went
Yeah.
Super Saiyan or something.
That actor has been the most colors of Power Ranger.
Two.
Green, white, red, and black.
What, really?
Yes.
This isn't okay.
So Reed
Is
and I were going through a list of upcoming movies and found that there is in fact a Power Rangers movie scheduled for a couple years from now.
I'll go see it.
Well, now I have to.
Did you guys ever see that short that somebody made? It was like a 15-minute short of super gritty Power Rangers.
Yes,
No.
like the Christopher Nolan Power Rangers. Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, it was like the guy who made it is, I think I can't remember if he does like music videos or something. I can't remember what it was. He's popular for another specific medium, but that decided to do this little Power Ranger short thing, and it basically just proved that entire thing is it's entertaining to watch gritty Power Rangers for exactly 15 minutes, and not any more than that.
This is sort of like the whatchamacallit, Kung Fury.
Yeah.
They're trying to raise money for a full movie, but I don't want it. I wanted that half hour, and it was perfect.
Which anybody, if they have not seen that, should go watch. I believe it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
It's on Netflix and YouTube, so no excuses.
So yeah, you should definitely go watch. Oh yeah, it's also on YouTube.
When is the new Pacific Rim movie coming out? Because that is something I want to.
No, don't. Guillermo del Toro's behind it. Just save yourself the heartache. Don't.
No, the first one was so good. It was so much fun.
I know it was,
I still
but
haven't seen the first one.
It is.
I own it on Blu-ray.
It is exactly what you want out of it. It's great.
I like that at the moment we're basically just like talking to Sasquatch because he's the only one here.
Hey, there's 4 people watching, but one of them is
one
me, so I don't count.
Oh wait, I guess.
Yeah. Do the math.
I didn't think about that 'cause I'm also technically watching, but I have my Skype window over the video itself because I can't look at myself 5 seconds in the past.
Wasn't Maximum Warp Year briefly, or is that from like forever ago?
That's from last time. So we were so Sasquatch. We were actually talking. Ian and I were talking yesterday, and we're going to be making another channel schedule adjustment after we hit the 10,000 subscriber mark and after my trip out of the country for a week, where we're actually going to be ending counterintelligence because it's currently
because I finally hit my groove with it.
Yeah,
and that can't be.
Bombs.
It's kind of it's tanking on views a bit, and
it has more views than this.
Well, yeah, but you also you have to consider the actual stream. This exact stream is not a good example of what I'm about to say, but you have to consider the fact that we do this live first, so some of those views don't carry over.
Yeah.
But the podcast, the main problem is that right now, like, if you take a 2-week chunk of any of our videos, 25% is currently sketches also, which seems too low.
How does that work?
Because we have two podcast uploads, 1 counterintelligence upload, and 1 sketch within a 2-week period.
Oh, they said 1 month for some reason. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So we're actually going to be adjusting.
Oh, I guess the proportion actually stays the same. So.
Back.
We're not killing counterintelligence.
We're burying it in
Set it
shallow
aside.
No, it's definitely just getting shot in the head. Like, let's not make this pretty. This agent has been caught and is having a black cloth tied around its eyes, is taken out behind the shed, and just getting
You should
shot
go
in the
watch
face.
the last one. It's pretty incredible how they never mention a superhero like once.
They said the word Wolverine.
Yeah, like in the comic part, they're like, "Wait a minute, this is the superheroes episode," and I was like, "I wouldn't know."
I actually liked it better once we got away from the informational aspect a little bit. So where it was way easier to write things when it was just like, I incidentally provide information, but I didn't feel like a responsibility to lay out although the gravitational waves one turned out pretty well. So I don't know.
No, I mean
they were better.
There were
when
parts
you guys
that were
were
okay.
Actually, just being awful spies.
It's just kind of the production value is, it's too much to be relegated to a secondary feature like Community Comments was, but not quite enough to be a main feature. And then it's, taking, I miss the old sketch every week kind of thing, so it was something we tried. It didn't work out too well. You know, it's not a huge deal. We still
I
been going up in
honestly liked
subscribers.
it. I really think if we could put some more time into it,
I
I know
still-
right now we can't.
Well, that's what we were talking about yesterday. Is that it's like it's good in concept. It just never worked out being good in practice because we weren't putting enough effort into it.
It's one of those things like if we were doing this full time or something, it would be totally great.
Yeah, if that was all we were doing, we could make it pretty good.
We
but-
could do just like slap that as a Wednesday thing or something, and if we were like at the point where we could reliably release more than one like, you know, decently produced thing a week.
Yeah. Tori says hi. Hi, Tori.
This is pretty decently produced.
So yeah, that's what. But I, you know, on the upside, we're going back to a sketch a week. The difference is going to be I'm going to release a video actually just explaining this once we switch so that everybody sees it. But we're going to be doing our big video game sketches every other week, like we're doing now with all the production value behind them. And then on the off weeks, we're going to do shorter, simpler, less special effects heavy sketches that aren't video game related. So we're going to switch between the two and go back and forth.
To be honest, are my favorite.
Oh yeah, and well, and see
Like-
that's the thing too, because different people like different sketches, so that'll make sure that there's an even split between them, so everybody gets a good portion of what they like best.
I'm actually totally happy with the decision to go back to sketch a week because I think
Yeah.
that was our best stride. So nothing too heinous about putting counterintelligence to rest, I feel.
Yeah.
Also, though, I think sometime this month, I want to start filming our Let's Playing stuff.
This month, March probably isn't great.
Okay, well,
'cause
aside
I'm-
from the fact that you decided to go skip out on the country for,
yeah.
you know, whatever. So this month, meaning next
perhaps,
month,
yeah.
which is fine because that'll give me time to, you know, binge play Metal Gear.
We're also still trying to work out a day to do Ren Fair, a weekend to do Ren Fair. Reed's gonna go back to Baylor after this weekend and check his schedule and see which day is gonna work best.
Oh yeah. Avery was mentioning Avery is
Does
here
the
right
Fair
now.
only happen in October?
That's TRF.
The one we go to is in Waxahachie, Texas. It's up near Dallas, and it's around now.
You
Don't
can't
ask
even-
what a hatchie is.
Okay.
I believe it's a type of green chili pepper.
But it'll also be because I think it'll still provide doing the sketches this way also will make it easier to I can come and do the gameplay with you guys, and then we can also film one of those shorter sketches there because it'll be easy.
Yeah.
Because again, it'll be like a minute long, so we can just film a thing real quick. So that'll be the alternative way of making things move faster instead of doubling up on counterintelligence episodes.
I mean, we used to do those 24-hour film projects
Yeah.
all the time, freaking the Roller Coaster Tycoon one and Refresher Round.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Those are typically I mean, it's just let's put as much stress as possible on Kyle for something that's tiny and insignificant.
Even
and it was-
Refresher Round though had effects, and Roller Coaster Tycoon was kind of long.
was
you
it?
know.
I guess
Well,
it was.
I mean, long in that it was 3 minutes. It was with these, I'm thinking more
Yeah.
around.
We literally filmed Roller Coaster Tycoon on a Sunday and uploaded it on a Monday, though.
Well, we did that with every video last year. I think you're forgetting.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you're forgetting that was stupid.
No. Hold
and
on.
when I say we, I mean I was doing that.
As I say, it's
Yeah, I just get to baselessly take the credit.
the Half-Life one where I was holding the camera. We filmed that on a Saturday, so I mean that's a whole day
Yeah.
extra.
No excuses, Kyle.
That prison is an excellent people.
That
We-
prison is an excellent people.
That prison has excellent people that work inside.
Has excellent. That's better.
Yeah, there we go.
We have 3 video game sketches coming up so far. We got another Civ 5 this Monday. We have a Zoo Tycoon coming up. That's gonna be the next sketch that comes out that I just wrote yesterday that we're gonna film tonight. And then I also have an Undertale idea that I haven't written down yet that we're gonna try.
Ooh, try
It
to-
involves putting Jeffrey in a wig. So
Yes. Okay, I want it.
That's always a good idea.
Oh, hey. Speaking of skits and change and stuff, I'm thinking that there's a decent chance I'm going to be able to get my car working again, which would be cool because, you know, some independence from having Rachel cart me back around.
oh yeah.
but since I'm not currently like occupied during large swaths of time, I can theoretically like be here more.
Okay. That'd be
So-
useful.
I can like, do stuff.
Yeah.
Get your car working yet? Do you want to drive for Uber?
No, my car is not Uber drivable. That is,
Huh?
I can't do that to people.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably have to pass some sort of inspection for Uber, right?
I mean, that's
a little bit. I mean, my car is good because I keep my stuff in order because I know cars. But
Do you know
That's
cars?
convenient. I don't.
I know
I know
enough
cars.
about.
I know cars, but not like the important parts, like maintenance. I just know like, ooh, Ferrari.
No, like I can like replace a belt and change my oil and like replace a battery. Like if I have to like cut and like resolder on new connections, like I know that has to be done, but I can't do that myself. So I take that in. I know what's wrong. Like I can diagnose issues. I can't fix all of them. I can switch out brake pads.
I need you to teach me
Hey.
all of this.
Oh
It's
my
on
gosh.
YouTube.
Not even joking.
The transmission with the stick thing though.
Not
that
on the podcast.
is awful.
No. This is now car talk.
Car talk.
That is an actual podcast.
That
Yeah.
probably is.
No, it
If
is.
not,
It's very
My
famous.
dad
It's
listens
very
to it all the time.
Yeah, they just recently had one of the guys die, and it was very
Yeah.
sad because it's been going on for like decades.
They both
By
had
podcast,
cameos
we mean
in cars.
actual radio
Yeah,
show.
it was actually radio. It's a podcast now because that's what people listen to, but it was on the radio for most of the years.
Yeah.
Tori and
Once-
Sasquatch both second our decision to make an Undertale game. Also, we were not
And-
on that much of a delay. It just took me a while to read off your messages.
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
The
You guys.
I see Metal Gear, which is to say yes. Although I have a proposition regarding this.
What?
We could we could theoretically do a Mass Effect playthrough first because it's super relevant right now.
Is it?
As in Mass Effect Andromeda is coming out 1 year from like today ish.
I am interested
So-
in Mass Effect. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, so like now would be the relevant time to start. I've also just totally binged through 3 games. And it's like super on my brain. So if we wanted to do that first instead of the multi-year undertaking of Metal Gear, perhaps
Yeah. Yeah.
as a trial run, we could do that.
So Marvel.
Oh, Marvel.
Released a nifty trailer.
Yeah.
It
I'm
had a
very
speeder-
excited.
You know what though? I actually like aside from like all of the reasons to be excited about this trailer, it's just a way better trailer than last trailer, I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I was
yeah.
not
Yeah.
from the art of
I like
trailer
the-
making. I was not excited by the last Civil War trailer, except for the fact that I knew it was going to be a great movie, regardless of the fact that the trailer wasn't that great.
I loved the Civil War like meme that came out of the last trailer.
That was true. That was pretty good.
I am hoping that they can. The only thing I'm concerned about is how well they're going to be able to mix all the characters and give each of them
Did
like an appropriate
the
amount of time.
Spider-Man-
Because I think we've all been kind of spoiled by Joss Whedon in the last 2 movies. Because if you remember,
Yeah.
people can't really do that. That's not something that happens very often. Like that was a big deal.
No,
that
it's
that worked
difficult.
for the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean,
even-
this does have the longest runtime of any Marvel movie. I think outside of maybe like a couple minutes or something.
Yeah. If
So,
they can do it,
they
I
have
think
the
this is
time.
probably going to be cooler than the Avengers was because it actually has like this really interesting conflict in it that will be really fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Although, I mean, it's still a Captain America movie, so I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be as like the Russo brothers are on record saying like, "Don't worry, it's still Cap. Everybody's in it, but it's still mostly Cap or something." So
See,
Like,
that's what's weird.
we have to go in with it the right mindset. I feel
Is Spider-Man entirely CG in that trailer?
he probably
He
is.
looked like it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it looked like, and that worries me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's way early for any sort of effects work to be finished. Like that's got to be a rough cut.
Yeah.
Like I think they said there's one of the billions and billions of pieces of information floating around about Lord of the Rings. The New Line was worried about Return of the King, I think it was, that it wasn't going to be released on time, even though it had been done for 2 weeks, because Peter Jackson kept going in and tweaking things, like up till 2 days before it had to be shipped. Or I think The Force Awakens wasn't actually like considered live until 2 days before the premiere. Like, at given time, people who do effects just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So
Style.
it only
Guards themselves.
That's why you gotta give yourself the deadline, or you'll just keep going forever.
yeah. So we'll get there. I think in terms of the effects getting better, and by we I mean they.
And then also you're just like tossing Paul Rudd in the middle of that.
Yes.
But then it just
Also-
oh my god, Spider-Man, I'm so happy. Ugh.
Black Panther. Let's not forget Black Panther. He looks fantastic so
They
far.
all look cool, but then there's also
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But also Spider-Man. He only got like a week and a half of filming, so I don't expect him to show up much.
Yeah.
I can't let myself
Which
like
actually, like, I
be
hope
too
they put him
focal
in
on
there
Spider-Man.
on, like, I mean, that seems like a very small amount. Like, I hope there's a justified reason for putting him in for that amount, and not just, hey guys, look at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna be disappointed that he's in there, but like, it would be nice if they have an actual story reason for him being
So
there
he-
for a brief period of time.
Like, oh no, he has to go to school.
Like, they don't have the rights, right? Sony still has the rights.
They,
Well, no,
they did
Marvel
like some
now
sort
has-
of weird. They loaned him sort of.
Yeah, because they got a movie scheduled.
Okay, because I was thinking I was like I bet they don't ever say the word Spider-Man through the entire movie.
No, it's like
Like-
he is theirs for the day or something.
Oh my God.
The costume eyes narrowing is a mechanical effect. I've seen this a misconception. They're not Deadpooling it where they're actually just animating his face mask. There was a
Yeah.
clearly like an aperture whir thing, not
Which
like a camera
is
aperture.
weirdly something that happens in the original comics, even though it's never like directly addressed. But
What,
like the
the
eye size
expressive eyes?
changes, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's something. It helps a ton. And they like if you ever watched V for Vendetta, apparently they had like a ton of different masks that are subtly different.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't done CGI, but they just changed which mask he was wearing to be a bit expressive. But like I mean, it worked super well in Deadpool. I was amazed by how much better it was than just dude in mask. But of course, that movie plays by different rules. I'm not sure if I would like how I would feel about fully animated eyes just like in mainstream MCU right now. But
Yeah, no, I like just the mechanic of just them kind of like changing size to, I don't know, zoom in or something, whatever it is he's doing.
yeah, this is definitely just
I like
Yeah.
I like the idea of returning back to like the very first Spider-Man costume that ever existed.
yeah.
I think that was a cool decision, minus the weird little like webbed armpits, which is something that existed in the first iteration.
There's like the problem with the webbed armpits is it looks great in exactly one pose, and other than that, it just kind of goes like, that's weird.
Yeah. And so yeah, they do actually have a movie with that character and that actor scheduled for like 2018, I think. And the good thing is that now that the actor's locked into a Marvel Blood contract, he will never leave. So I don't have to worry about it swapping out.
Although, like, I kind of feel like he's gonna like age like 7 years in between there, just because he's at that age where he's like, isn't the actual actor like 15 or something?
He is actually he's 18. He is 18 and probably like having some experience with these kinds of genetics. He's probably the kind of person who will not change in appearance very much over the next decade.
Hope so.
I like how everybody was like giving DC crap about how like Batman versus Superman, and they just kept like adding more stuff to it. Like every trailer would come out, and it's like, oh, now Wonder Woman's in it, like Aquaman's in it, like Doomsday's in it.
I just think
Everybody's just like, that's gonna be so bad and so like too many things jammed in the film, and then Civil War keeps releasing trailers with just new characters, and everybody's like, oh my god, Civil War's gonna be so good.
I really love how much DC is trying to compete with Marvel and how much everybody just doesn't care.
It was great, like, when they were doing all the original announcements, like, that's it, we're putting Superman and Batman in a combat film, Batman vs. Superman, watch it. And Marvel's like, we'll give you our third Captain America movie in competition. Like,
And also, the third Captain America movie is actually just going to be Avengers 2.5.
Basically. Yeah, it's got the Vision in it again. That'll be fun. Hi,
hi,
Isaac.
Isaac
Hi,
Wilcox.
Isaac.
How did we all respond to him immediately and nobody
Oh
else?
my god, I don't know.
So that
We
was
just like
an
him better.
exact. Now you know exactly how much of a delay we're on. That was like instantaneous right there.
Hold on 1 second. I will be right back.
Okay.
Continue talking about nothing important.
Okay, we will do this. Did you see the new? There's a DC show that's like DC's Avengers the show.
Isn't it like the Heroes of Future something or other? It's like the
something like
Flash.
that. It's a bunch of people I don't even know, except that it's Arthur Darvill who plays Rory in Doctor Who. He's like one of the main characters or something.
The problem is, I really
Somebody wanted me to
dislike
go like
Flash.
open presents or something.
Oh right, because it's your birthday.
It's Ian's
Yeah.
birthday.
They
Happy
can
birthday.
wait though. Thanks.
Ian's putting off his birthday present opening for White Noise. That's dedication.
That's laziness.
It's lazy.
Similar. I'm a
Um,
quarter of a century old now. That's weird.
Huh.
weird
Yeah.
when you think of it like that.
I told you
I'm
what
glad-
my life length plan is.
Yes.
I want to live to 108 at the very least.
Oh, is
I-
that what it was?
so that I can
Why
have
is that?
seen, because that way I can see the turn of the century twice, which I think
Yeah.
is a very exclusive club at the moment.
I have to live to 109 to get there. Gross.
You have to do one more year than me.
Well, it's okay. I'll steal your life force,
Or
Kyle.
technically, you've already done the year.
Well, I think this is kind of a philosophical. It's sort of like even though something happens 1,000 light years away, it takes 1,000 years for us to see it. But because light speed is the speed of causality, it's actually happening now when we see it, even though it happened 1,000 years ago, kind of thing.
I also plan on becoming an immortal and being put into like a vision body back to Marvel, but at least
According to our
108.
futurology, the singularity is happening in 2050. So
Yeah, according to anything futurology, everything is happening in 2050. So
Singularity.
except for self-driving cars, which are happening like next week.
But should it kill you at the price of others?
You know what? I've never had this issue while driving a normal car, so I'm not sure how often it's going to come up with.
But you have to
With
program
self-driving.
it. How do
Like-
you program it, Ian?
It's simple. You program it like this. All effort should be dedicated towards maintaining safe driving and reducing speed and staying in the lane. And just like normal, like take the driving book that you have to read for driver's ed, apply
Yeah.
that to car.
I
Done.
would just like to give a shout out to the quick math Paint the Future just did to work out what age I was based on, on my projected. Yeah.
So
But no, that question is always that's like the big question about the self-driving car.
but it's
Also,
not
this-
even a question. Wait, so what were you talking? Oh, it's Berntal.
Hi, Bernto.
Bertel.
What were we talking about before I rudely interrupted with my
We're
birthday
talking about
celebrations?
Arthur Darvill walking backwards in his career path and being in a DC show.
Which one's Arthur Oh, wait, that's Rory.
Yeah.
He's in DC?
He's in like DC's Not the Avengers, the TV show.
What's that?
I don't know. It's like this weird collection of Avengers who are not
But I
Avengers.
really dislike the Flash TV show.
You dislike or like?
Yeah, Reed
Just like-
says I've never watched it. Reed says his roommates watch it all the time and love it, and he can't stand it because he doesn't understand why they like it so much.
I'm gonna spoil it without spoiling anything.
Spoil away.
Okay, I will give you the math formula of the show.
Black
It
Thunder
is-
is here.
It is Hi Black Hunter. It is run around, do things, find bad guy. I can't beat him. I'm not fast enough. You're gonna have to run faster than you've ever run before, and then he runs faster than he's ever run before. And episode, every episode,
Hey, look,
every single
Tori
one.
D says we have a bench watcher. Woo!
Oh yeah. Tori says
We
that the
appreciate
friend
you.
showed her. Tori's a her, right?
I believe
I'm
so.
not talking about Doctor Who. I was talking about the Flash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Doctor has
Shut up, Black
not
Thunder.
has not tried to run faster than he's ever run before.
Tori says that a friend
No,
showed her
no,
one of the
no,
Half-Life videos, and she loved that she's been binge watching all of our stuff, and that we're great. So hi, thanks, Tori. We always like people saying that we're great.
I recently played through the story mode of Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is my introductory course to most DC things.
And you that Aquaman is OP.
Yeah, he is actually, because just stab.
Aquaman made the game.
But like, it was just like this whole time I'm like, can't the Flash like run faster than light or something? Like, why is all of his fighting reduced to punching slightly slower than better characters?
Well, he has the power where like you get like slowed down.
What's that?
He has like his superpower or whatever is like he slows your opponent down.
Is that what happens?
Well, like yeah, because everybody has like the superpower, like it's at the bottom. Everybody has a different one.
No,
like,
yeah,
Aquaman
I
has
thought he'd make him like combo better or something. I don't know.
No, your opponent slows down. It's
Oh,
like
that's handy.
it's supposed to be like you're moving so fast that they are moving slow.
Well, that would have
It's
been
sort of-
more useful than it appeared in the.
and his ultimate move or whatever, like his double trigger move, is where he runs around the entire Earth to punch you.
Yes. Yeah. From which you can gather that apparently every single fight takes place in Panama. From the animation.
The best ultimate in that move, which may be biased, is still Shark Week.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Aquaman just stabs his opponent through the chest with a trident and then holds them up, and a shark just comes by and chomps them.
Can't
I
cancel
appreciated
Shark.
how Doomsday had the exact opposite super of Superman. Like Superman punches them like into the stratosphere, then flies up above them and punches them down, whereas Doomsday will punch you through the earth into the ocean on the other side of the earth, then turn around and punch you back through the earth. So it's like, okay.
I'm pulling open this list of movies that Reed and I looked through the other day of all the upcoming movies.
I enjoy. Is it Batgirl's like grapple you into like the nothingness?
Oh no, see, that's a DLC character. I got this game for free. I wasn't willing to spend any money on it.
Oh,
I did get
Hello
the
and
Jon
goodbye,
Stewart Green
Ultralight.
Light skin though.
You got the what?
There's not that Jon Stewart, although we were hoping.
I'd go buy this game right now if that happened.
You see, there's a GIF going around of Conan fighting an actual like MMA dude in an MMA game, but they have like his face made with the face maker.
No.
It was pretty fun.
There are actually so many fighting games I would buy if they would just make them themed around like I always thought it'd be great to have a fighting game that starred old 80s action heroes.
Expendables, the fighting game.
Yeah, basically.
I love the story to Injustice. It's just everybody is now Superman. So what are we gonna do? Fight.
I like the honesty of this one. It's like, what if Superman became evil? Not because he was born in Russia, not because of red kryptonite, but what if he just snapped and became evil?
Which you think would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's apparently like he got like brainwashed or something into killing Lois and his child. Which also Superman has a child, I guess. Sure. In the game, you can see briefly a gravestone that just says "Baby Kent." Like,
oh man,
not sure that's the best. Like, can you really say you cared for the child if you didn't even give it a name?
I had to. So
Baby's a pretty good name.
Alpha Light just left, and Black Thunder said, "See ya, spelling dude."
Well, also, Burnt Elf pointed out that Black Thunder is the reverse of White Lightning.
Yeah, we already know this actually from a
That
separate
blew my mind.
experience.
I'm sorry, I did not catch on.
So I have this list of upcoming movies. One of the ones that's coming up is God's Not Dead 2.
Does anything ever need Like, why? Why?
But
Why?
see, that's the thing. I asked Reed, like, was the first one not enough? And he just looked at me, like, right in the eye and said, there are still atheists.
Also,
I
it
was
made
like,
like
alright.
buku money. It was. Oh, I'm so glad I am not at Baylor for the release of this movie.
We already
I
talked about
saw-
that, Burntel, but yes, we are very excited about Spider-Man.
I'm glad that Spider-Man is going to be in the next Captain America.
What else is coming out?
Let's see. We've
Shadows
got
over Innistrad.
The Jungle Book is coming
Yes!
out in April.
Oh yeah, I am so totally into Bill Murray being Baloo. It's great.
Wait, is that a thing that's happening?
They're doing a live,
Yes.
you know, because Disney's like remaking all of their old animated films in live action now. So the
Oh, so
Jungle
they're
Book's the
going to
next one.
get rid of the charm that was in the hand-drawn
But it's
animation.
following the book a lot more, supposedly.
Is
Also,
it godlike?
ScarJo as Ka, which is like
Black Thunder says, "Isn't God like immortal?"
I believe
Yeah,
technically
I mean
like
that's what they're saying in the title.
like the academic distinction
No,
I
you're
was
not- you're
given in
fine.
my Bible classes, God is eternal, which is better than immortal. Because you see, for him, every moment is present, which gets rid of a lot of this issues with free will and stuff.
Yeah, he can't die.
Apparently.
That's why he's not dead. Too.
Not that too.
He's still not dead.
They're making a Ratchet and Clank movie this year that literally just looks like a video game cutscene as a movie. Like it's the exact
Nice.
same thing.
There are still atheists. Read Sullivan, 2016.
I kind of want to see the parody follow up, like, oh crap, guys, God's
I
looking a
won't-
little under the weather. I'm not sure.
I now want a picture of Reed in his spy mask, making his like spy face with that quote.
If that idea wouldn't kick up just like so much crap on our channel, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Just put it in
So-
the good ideas folder. Nobody has to see it.
Along with
Civil War is in
counterintelligence.
May, so that's cool. Also in May is an Edward Snowden movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's playing Edward Snowden?
I don't know.
Maybe
Let me
it's a like ploy to get him back to America.
Are they still
It's like-
trying to
apparently,
do that?
is this the Oliver Stone one?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Oliver Stone,
Edward Snowden. Oh my. What? Oh my God.
Is it Johnny
Guys.
Depp? It better be Johnny Depp.
It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I want to put a wire on your 2 towers and walk across.
Wow. I
What
mean,
is even
like,
happening?
you know, good job, Edward Snowden. You hit the jackpot in movie for trials there.
Like now that
I've been
Theo's got
enjoying-
his Oscar, can we continue to throw all of our Oscars at Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
that is amazing.
What was it? There was somebody. Let me find this guy. Reddit was like all distraught because now they don't have their Leo meme anymore. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
picked a new guy to like, you know, incessantly pummel for Oscar. They picked
my old man.
Roger Deakins. He's a cinematographer. He never won an Oscar. Here is a short list of his work. Let me find it. Where does it actually start getting good? He did The Shawshank Redemption, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A No
So-
Country for Old Men,
So he's the Coen Brothers cinematographer.
Skyfall, Sicario, like True Grit. He actually has just done like a bunch of these. He's cinematographized a bunch of these movies. They're like, oh my god, those were all gorgeous. Also, he's been nominated 13 times and never won.
I did see that musician that has done like 100 something.
He did
movie
the
scores
good, the bad, and the
finally.
ugly theme, like the actual
Wow.
thing. Like, so
Also, let's see. After that, they're making the Angry Birds movie. That's coming up.
I
So,
saw the trailer.
Get hyped for that one.
The trailer will upset you. The trailer will actively upset
Yeah, I
you. It'll
saw
make you angry.
is there an actual like trailer for this? Is it?
Yeah, there's one. Well, it's a teaser, I guess, but
It's literally about the birds having to deal with their anger issues, like in a high school setting. I'm pretty sure.
It's like Caveman. It's just. Oh, couldn't we have stopped at the licensed candy products?
Real quick, Burnell is asking what's everyone's favorite
Yeah,
superhero.
you're
Spider-Man. Now
serious.
moving on.
Spider-Man, but more so than Kyle. That's not true. I can't. That's I'm not even gonna pretend.
It's Gambit
Gambit's also pretty good.
and Nightcrawler.
Apparently,
Nightcrawler
apparently
is solely
Neighbors
based-
did
What?
well enough to get a sequel, so that's happening.
Neighbors? What is Neighbors?
It was one of those movies that it was the one with the family
Zac
that moved in next
Efron.
door to the sorority
The fraternity
Oh.
house.
or the fraternity. This one is a sorority house. Sorry, that's what the description says.
My second place Nightcrawler, though, is based simply upon the fact that he is the best jump kick in the X-Men arcade game
That's totally
and
fair.
the best superpower in that game.
Which is
You like teleport all over the place and everybody you run over dies.
cool. Yeah, I like it.
Has Johnny Depp won an Oscar? Tori is asking.
Let's find out.
Fear and Loathing, right?
We
Maybe.
have the IMDb's.
He's been nominated for an Academy Award 3 times. Once for Best Actor in a Leading Role for Pirates of the Caribbean, The Black Girl. Really? That was the first?
Really? That's where he gets nomination.
That is weird. I mean, that is a good movie. I think people forget how good the first Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah, it's
movie
true.
was.
And then he was also nominated for Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role for Finding Neverland.
Sure.
And then
That
he
was a
was
pretty good one.
nominated for Sweeney Todd.
Didn't see that one.
But
of-
he's never won.
Another Alice in Wonderland movie is coming out this year as well, starring Johnny Depp.
I don't understand like the obsession over Alice in Wonderland.
As a
at
general
all.
concept, I don't either. It's just kind of like the weird, slightly emo person thing to get into.
It's just dark because
Yeah.
it's dark.
But
That's
I
why.
like Johnny Depp as that character. I actually enjoyed watching him in the first one, so it
I
might
never
be.
saw the first one.
It was,
I heard
it
it
was
was-
good for watching Johnny Depp in a goofy costume, if that's what you're into.
Mhm.
Oh,
that was the movie I was going to talk about. Where there's another Purge coming out, apparently.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah, that one's on this list.
I
saw
remember
the
watching the trailer for that one, and the whole concept is the Purge. What if it was a bad idea?
like
Do we actually need 3 movies to figure this out?
no. So like I watched the first Purge movie, right? And I was like, that movie was mediocre at best. But man, that concept is really good. I would watch a sequel.
It's-
and they made a sequel.
It's really like somebody came up with the start of a good idea and then immediately stopped and is like, "It's going into production, guys. Let's go."
Exactly,
This
like,
concept
I don't-
never like caught on with me. I just don't understand the appeal behind it. Like, what if for one day you could do any? No, it's
I
dumb.
think it could
That's
have
stupid.
been like
Because,
worked
like,
into
like,
something
like-
interesting, but it's weird.
mean, it could
like,
have.
It's weird just inserting it into modern society because it
I
doesn't
just
like
I don't
why would that
understand
happen?
the bizarre fixation. Like after it was announced, people were like, "Wait, maybe that's a good idea." Like, no, people.
No, it's definitely not a
No,
good idea.
this does not need
It's
to be like some
interesting-
sort of societal, like internal
Tori.
discussion.
It is interesting enough of an idea that I will go watch movies about that world. No matter. Also, the new Cloverfield came out, and I've got to go see that.
It came out.
It came out.
That was fast.
Yes.
Yeah,
I only just saw a trailer for it on Deadpool.
yeah. Which
By Black
also,
Thunder.
it looked
Oh wait, no.
terrible or good. I can never tell. But it's
You know
Abrams,
what?
right? So it
yeah,
has to
that's
be decent.
it doesn't have to be decent. J.J. Abrams did Star Wars. Good job on him, but I don't know.
What else? What has he done that's not decent?
Name a
minimum?
movie that was bad.
Okay, he did decent. Well, it depends on your opinion of some things. I
He
personally
was,
like
he was
most
fine
of the
of the
things.
first 3 seasons of Lost. The
I-
first 3 seasons were him.
No, he only did the first episode actually.
What?
Yeah,
I thought
he
he
was
was
just
the first
like- yeah.
3 seasons.
He did he kicked the show off and hired specific. I don't care for his writing philosophy in particular. Is the
Which
main
one's his
thing.
writing philosophy?
He is the guy who's like, you should make everything a mystery all the time, which is just a really bad
Oh
idea.
yeah, that's yeah. It's
Well,
it's
I
not.
mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could go
It-
into detail about. I may as well. This is our podcast. I can do whatever the crap I want. So it's like his whole philosophy is that you should all like his whole thing is like I always give my characters like a secret to hold on to, and all of my like his main propulsive storytelling is leave the audience like not knowing what's going on essentially.
This
which
explains so much
which is
about
a
Alias.
problem because
It doesn't give you anything to go off of.
Yeah, like the reasons good stories work is because you have something to be invested in, and it's one of the problems. It's like we liked Lost, but I think the reason we liked Lost is because we could go and immediately watch the next episode whenever we wanted. I can understand why it was infuriating while
Also,
it was on TV.
I specifically went in with the idea that this is absurd and probably not going to pay off in a way that I particularly want it to. So I just let myself, enjoy the absurdity. It is, I mean, it was so like Alias. You should watch Alias at some point. It's fun in the sense that it's everybody. It starts off as a very typical so the idea is there's a rogue spy agency, right? So Jennifer Garner gets hired by the rogue spy agency, but also by the CIA, so she's a double agent, right? Spying on the spy agency.
Yeah.
Except by the end, there's clones and an immortality device.
Yeah.
What?
It got weird somewhere along the way. So I can see where that's annoying for a TV show. I think as far as movies go, it works decently well because you only have an hour and a half to hang on to the mystery.
If it's self-contained, yeah, I could see it being better because then you don't have a week to for the audience to figure out the mystery before it happens, which is another problem with doing mysteries that way. Is if you do mystery in a serial thing, especially with the internet around now, people are gonna figure it out.
Or if they're going to figure it out, or there's nothing to figure out.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah, there's some the gauntlets are being thrown.
It's okay. It's a British fight. It won't be too violent.
But so I can't think of a single J.J. Abrams film that I've watched that I went, I didn't really care for that.
I mean, there were Star Treks
Super
were
8.
okay.
I enjoyed Star Trek
Treks.
very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a super huge Star Trek fan, and I understand why the fans don't particularly like it.
I'm
one of my
a huge
favorite.
fan. I loved them.
God.
Good job. One of my favorite Onion articles is just says Star Trek fans blast new movie as fun, watchable.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I don't understand that criticism of it.
Or I don't really get the lens flare hate. There's one scene.
Oh yeah, I forget he does that too.
He used to. He doesn't really. There's an article that was trending on our movies the other day. J.J. Abrams' wife told him to lay off the lens flare. But there's one scene in the second one, Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Where it's this is an emotional scene, and there's a blue streak across Alice Eve's face that does not need to be there. But outside of that, it's never really bothered me.
I remember enjoying watching the first Star Trek. I wasn't interested enough to watch the second one, just because I think I've never been super into the Star Trek series or in general.
The second one is not as good as the first, I don't feel, but it was watchable.
To his credit, he did a very good job with Star Wars because he did exactly the opposite of what he normally does. He didn't do any of the mystery bullcrap at all, except for maybe the where did Rey come from, but it wasn't made a big deal. It's just kind of a question that you can ask, which is the way you should. If you just leave things open like that, that's not you. His problem is that he always shoves it in your face. It's what is this thing? And that's usually where the problem comes from.
Well, it's not even so much. I think it's a lack of payoff that's the issue. Super 8 was a fun movie that had a lot of this is a love letter to Spielberg and old style movie making and stuff. Yeah. But then there's a third act sort of twist kind of thing.
Yeah.
That I can't even remember because it's not very interesting. The whole time it's oh my god, there's a thing, and the thing is doing stuff, and then there's a magnet or something, and I don't.
The twist is that the alien was nice, even though he was murdering people.
Oh, sure, okay.
Yeah, the twist was the alien is actually E.T. and not the monster from Cloverfield or something like that. You thought it was one Spielberg monster, but it's actually a different one.
But it was very Goonies-esque. It was Goonies plus E.T. plus a bunch of other stuff.
Feel good. It's let's just have a bunch of scenes that make you relive that childhood feel good nostalgia from the 80s, what I totally know all about.
I loved that the two main characters were basically a recast Jack and Sawyer from Lost. The two adults. The two fathers of each of the kids, were essentially just those two characters again.
I still hate Juliet. Oh,
sorry, give me 1 second. You guys keep talking.
I'm witnessing a British duel go down over here.
I believe we've gone to ways of determining government. A saucy tart chucking scimitars. I always get this quote wrong. He goes off so fluidly in the movie.
Which quote?
The like, a random woman handing out scimitars is no basis for government or whatever.
While Kyle's gone, we can discuss Shadows over Innistrad.
No, I'm here.
Yes, it looks. Oh God.
Avison is switching over. That's so cool.
I'm so happy. Also, I would kill for a red, white, Nahiri.
The parallels to Shadows over Innsmouth are insane.
I haven't actually read Innsmouth yet. I need to. I've always
Like,
been
it's
kind
all
of
Craftian and stuff, and
yeah.
if you look in the magnifying glass, there's like an eyeball sticking through her skin.
Yeah. I am not super excited about Emrakul being the payoff. If that's the case, I would accept it, but she, thank you.
Emrakul's feminine?
Well, it's actually a nameless, genderless, conceptual impossibility that you can't grasp. But theoretically, she was worshipped as like among the Zendikari gods. She was the lady one. So, insofar as a gender ought be applied.
So SJW's a female. Okay, no problem.
It's just what?
Kyle's just like,
I was just looking at the movies again. I saw the X-Men Apocalypse is coming out this year too, which does not look interesting to me either.
I'm kind of excited by it. I think it looks decent. Days of Future Past was like such a solid like 6.5 in my book that I just barely remember that it exists.
Yeah.
But I loved First Class. First Class was, you still need to see First Class.
The entire point of watching Days of Future Past is for time in a bottle, and you know it.
Okay,
For
well,
time in a
yeah.
bottle?
That's
Oh yeah.
perfect.
Supposedly he has an even better scene in Apocalypse.
I would love to see it because that was like the most perfectly crafted superhero movie scene I had seen in a long time.
It was, I mean, aside from the general problem that the Flash has also of why didn't you just fix all of our problems forever? I just recently went on a binge of reading The Editing Room, which I occasionally do, which puts up abridged scripts. You know, the let's make fun of scripts, and their one for Days of Future Past was pretty decent. Like, you ever realize that like Magneto did nothing but screw everything up the whole time?
I don't really remember. Like, all I really remember about that movie is that me and Ian were like literally predicting the words the characters were going to say right before they said them.
Yeah,
like to the word. It was like they're gonna say this time travel line next, and then they did.
To be fair, all I remember from that entire movie was Quicksilver.
It had excellent parts, and it was okay conceptually, but it was like I felt the execution was just a little. It was very broad, kind of. It didn't really do it for me. But like I said, First Class was probably my favorite X-Men movie so far. So I am okay, like, willing to give Apocalypse another chance.
They are also making a sequel to Now You See Me. Did you guys ever watch that one?
I did. It did not warrant a sequel.
No, it didn't.
What
it was not
it?
a good movie. It was the one where they had the magicians robbing the bank. You remember that? Like, it was a thing that could have been a good movie.
I'm just picturing Job.
It had it was what's his
Jesse
name?
Eisenberg
Not
doing
Michael
his
Cera.
classic "I'm smarter than everybody else."
Right, and then the other guy from
That's
Zombieland. What's his name?
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson as Job, basically. And then had Mark Ruffalo was in there, and then a couple other people who I didn't recognize. But it had that problem where at the end there was a twist that destroyed the rest of the movie you just watched.
Oh.
How do you put Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman in the same movie and it not be good?
This next one has Daniel
Michael Caine
Radcliffe in it as well, apparently.
Like, isn't Michael Caine on the list of, like, if you pay me $1 million, I will be in your movie?
Probably. He's in a lot of them.
It's like him and Nicolas Cage are both on the I do this strictly for the bills sort of movie making.
I noticed
I don't
this.
care what you say.
A lot.
Michael
He
Caine
deserved an Oscar for saying that he's not going to bury another member of the Wayne family. I was in tears.
Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman now basically play the exact same character in every movie that they're in, though.
Yes. Yeah,
it's like, can you come be the movie mentor? And that's pretty much
the
it.
old mentor who.
And Michael Caine has
exposition.
the slightly deferential movie mentor.
And then, well, I guess he's like movie mentor. Morgan Freeman is just like the authority figure, and that's it. He's like the
I don't
old
know, like
wise.
who was in in charge of casting him as God and Bruce Almighty, but they actually
good
just
one.
reinvigorated his entire career. Like, everybody's like, hey guys, can we just, as a society, accept Morgan Freeman as God? And everybody's like, yeah, okay.
I'm
That'll
gonna go
do.
back and read this chat duel once we're done.
You know what I realized? Like, if you watch that like show where it's like Magician Secrets Revealed with the Masked Magician, right? There's
Okay,
a big special, you know, and he like shows you a trick, and you're like, oh wow, that trick's really cool. And then he shows you how he does it, and you're like, that trick's not that cool anymore. That's what Now You See Me is the whole movie is a magic trick, and at the very end, they show you how they did it, and you're just like,
That's a good
it wasn't really that clever after all.
Yeah, that's a good description of it.
Like they could have just not said anything, and I think I would have been more happy with the film.
You know what? Actually, just spoilers for Now You See Me. But
Okay.
what happened, Ian, was that there's these 4 people who get this. There's 4 like street magicians. They get this mysterious message that you don't get to see. Again, like a J.J. Abrams-esque kind of thing. And it's for some reason it tells them all that they gotta go rob this bank.
Sure.
So, there's this big master plan that they totally are aware of, and so you're seeing it from Mark Ruffalo as this cop who's, watching them manage to rob the bank from all this, get all this money publicly, doing these big displays of it without actually breaking into the bank and, taking all this money out of it.
You
And
rob
so
a
he's-
French bank.
His whole thing is,
Who's
who's teaching them, who's guiding them, who's showing them how to do this, and, the mystery is, who is it? Who's the guy, leading this group of people? And in the end, it's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Which does, you watch him
died
in, little
died.
personal moments. These little, moments where, he's stressed out trying to solve this case, and at the end it's just kidding, it was actually me, and you're like, what?
I've seen this done before, and it's done very well in certain media. It's
Yeah,
not.
well, it's
you have
the
to do it
twist,
right,
right?
though.
The twist-
You never, ever put them in a personal moment where there was a reason to drop their guard.
Yeah, exactly. The optimal twist is one where when they reveal it, you can then go back and watch the rest of the movie and be like, oh, that all makes sense now. That didn't happen with this one. It was just
You think that
actually
the
this.
You think the mastermind is Michael Caine, right?
Yeah.
And then halfway through the movie, though, they throw that out the window because they just rob Michael Caine of all of his money.
So yeah, it was a bad movie, and they're making another one. That's the end of that story.
It was entertaining until the end
Yeah.
when they told me what was happening. Also, there's 8 different times where they go back and it's you thought this warehouse was empty, but there was just a giant mirror at the end. That happens 3 times.
They have the Warcraft movies coming out this year too, which I'm kind of curious about, just because the orcs look pretty.
It looks bad. I don't.
It probably
I don't think
is.
it looks.
I don't
good.
know. I'm not a fan of the Warcraft series in general, but I'm just kind of curious about it, I guess, just because.
I've been reading some of the hype from the actual Warcraft fans. We're like, okay, we need this one to do good because the next one is the story that's actually decent. So
I'm still waiting for that video game movie that shows everybody how to
Video game
potentially
movie?
make
Yeah.
a video game movie. But then I also go back and forth on should they even be making video game movies? Shouldn't they
I
just
just
be
saw
leaving
a
video games
headline
alone?
somewhere J.J. Abrams says Portal and Half-Life are still goes for movies.
No, they're not. If anybody does that, I'm gonna punch somebody. that's
that's-
not okay.
I can see Half-Life
saying
being an
Half-Life
okay movie.
Maybe.
The
I
third
don't
Half-Life
know.
3.
I think I lean more towards they should just let games be their own medium and not try to keep making them
I
into
think there's
movies.
probably, depending on the game, there's some that are worth making movies of, but a
There
lot
are
of them,
few- Assassin's
most-
Creed they're gonna do. I can see that one being a decent movie because you know what? You know what though? Because they're not making a movie version of a game. They're just making a movie of a new story set in that same world that Assassin's Creed created, which is a different thing.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of the game worlds are super cool.
Yeah, I could see them making another piece of media in a different medium that that would play into that same story. Fine.
As many cutscenes as there are in games, games don't make movies.
Yeah, because there's this whole
Bioshock-
interactive part that is really awkward to. It's
Bioshock
I-
Infinite does not work as a movie because you need to interact.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's where the storytelling in games come. The best storytelling in games comes from moments that you personally experience by yourself. I think like there are some merits to story-driven games, and like I know Metal Gear Solid somehow it becomes like its own thing, but in general,
Well,
I think
it is
even
a
cutscenes-
movie fusion genre.
Yeah,
is the difference.
Metal Gear Solid is just a weird. I don't know.
You just,
it
it does not.
transcends.
No, there's an asterisk next to everything about video games that says does not apply to Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think other than like that series, that even cutscenes are things that need to be like start being done away with. It's I think trying to imitate film in video games is I think
I still like a lot of cutscenes. I don't know. There's room for lots of different kinds of video games.
I think
I can tell
yeah,
you
I
my
mean, there
most
are. You definitely. What was that?
I can tell you my most hated cutscene in all of video games, and I can almost quote the cutscene.
What is that?
It is, Kyrie's heart is inside of you, Sora. Kyrie's heart is
Kingdom Hearts.
inside me. Now we
Kingdom
must
Hearts has some pretty
fight,
bad
Sora.
dialogue.
Ah. I hate that one because I see it a million times because that fight is impossible, and they make you sit through the cutscene again.
Are you having to fend off birthday celebrations, Ian?
Yes, I am. They're at my door, which I have locked.
Back. Is anybody else excited about that action movie filmed entirely in first person?
I'm definitely interested in seeing it just to see how it works.
Okay.
I also just want to see it to experience it.
Okay, I'm just going to
Are they singing from
myself.
outside? Should we go ahead and end the podcast?
That may be worth doing.
All right. Well,
Okay.
happy birthday to Ian. We're going to go ahead and cut the podcast off now. So thanks, everybody,
All right,
Good one.
for joining us.
I'll catch y'all later.
We will see you
Bye.
all next week.
Did it end?